My phone is dead. My car battery is dead. My battery is dead. My computer's almost dead. So, but we had to, so this is pretty major update, and it's just an important note. So I was thinking about neuronal communication and it communication, and it's so easy as a human mind to imagine entities interacting. We imagine information being passed along. And that never sat right with me to say that a neuron passes information along to another neuron. In some senses, sure, but there's an important way in which it's wrong, in that it's actually quite binary. It's just like either it tickles the cell or it doesn't. There's not information. The information is more of an emergent term thing. And so I don't want it to be passing information along, but it's hard to imagine a system communicating without each piece giving information. It's like, it's not as hard, but it feels like trying to imagine the fourth dimension right now. It just feels like something that it's difficult for the brain to understand. Or something, but actually all it does is it just slaps it on the shoulder. And then if it slaps the guy hard enough, the next it hard enough, then that it slaps the next one on the shoulder. So the information is so distributed that I feel like it isn't even meaningful to refer to one, to one instance of neurotransmitters crossing the synapse and landing in some receptors as a transmission of information. Don't think, information shouldn't be used on that scale, that term. It's just meaningless, I think. I mean, you could make an argument for it, but that's not what we're doing right now. I think it is valuable to say that it's just kind of meaningless. You're not handing off a message, just a slap on the shoulder, and maybe another guy slapped him on the shoulder, and maybe that was enough for him to bump into slap the next guy. So I was thinking earlier today and yesterday that when I imagine inter-it communication, when I imagine liveries in the sit stem, so there's the whole sit stem, I guess. Photons hitting you right now. So photons hitting, that's an enlivery. It's received by the bottom processors. They send it up the chain of command, or the chain of information, whatever. And so they deliver it to a guy, to an it. So then for that it, from the perspective of that it, that information is its enlivery. Was. This is the previous term. End of Shaber, we had this term, so about a month and a half ago. That's the enlivery. Relative to that first bottom it that had received the initial enlivery, that piece of information is its delivery and my enlivery. Understand? And then I deliver, which is something that's there, the next guy's enlivery. Okay. So then we were thinking, and because we can't be on Instagram, can't play Clash of Clans, can't play Bloat, we got some work done, which is cool. A lot of thinking about Manalaris. Just quick update, because that's how. So what we've got here is Alaris is the application of Eris. Of course, Eris is not me. It's an acronym for some values. I just call myself that because I want to promote that and represent that, or emulate that even. So an application of empiricism, reason, imagination, and skepticism in order to, what did I write? Alerus is the application of eris in order to advance the self or community toward truth. Okay, the monaleris, with the prefix mono, is the one-sided application of eris in order to advance the self toward truth. And that might not be directly that the self is advancing toward truth, but it might be that because part of monaleris is evaluating opportunities to advance toward truth. So someone says something to you that does not fit what you liver and what your gits and your yits and stuff. So now, should you change those, learn from that, or not? So part of monaleris is evaluating that using, critical recognition. Actually, yeah, it's not really an application of eris. Yes, reason, some critical reflection. In fact, monaleris is a technique of critical reflection. It's a way to achieve the objectives that I said, but a specific way to do that we're developing, I guess. And then some imagination, maybe what this guy is saying is right. Some skepticism, maybe it's wrong, and also maybe my current gits and yits, my current system, my current activity is wrong. The thing that is lacking from the acronym ERIS, because I hadn't understood this back then, is how important knowing the biases and fallacies is, so that you can have an ear out, several ears out, keep an eye out for them. Like ERIS, empiricism, reason, imagination, and skepticism are really great principles for a reasonable mind, but there's a certain thing that you need, because we're never going to be reasonable minds, and so we need to know that. That's the thing that we need in order to try to apply to be erisic. And that's critical recognition, of course. Now, if my last name is Sill, critical recognition. Yeah, so eris, so it's not the application of, yeah, so it's the application of recognition and eris. Or maybe we can say I've recognized eris. So trying to be empirical, reasonable, imaginative, and skeptical, with a basis, a knowledge of sort of how the mind works and the things to look out for, the things to be sensitive to. So it's just unfortunate for me right now that's missing from Alerus, because really, technically speaking, Eris just captures